Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, or QNT. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. And if you do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way possible, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a feature update. Now, with all of that in mind, I have been watching Bitcoin closely today, as you guys are probably all aware of from my last couple videos. I'm also watching the indices, but with QNT, we have been ranging around a nice level. We're actually going to be addressing it in this video. As you guys do see, QNT sitting here at about almost $113. Trading volume still sitting at around like 9.49% up. Holders tab, don't know if we changed from yesterday. We could check. So yeah, we actually did increase, which is pretty good to see. But I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about the price chart real quick for QNT, and really kind of address where we are currently on the PA for QNT, because I know a lot of individuals always ask me for, of course, the price chart. So let's look here. So as you guys do see, key targets still set on the board. I'm not going to be very, very bullish on the price action until we do get above those points. But I will say this. What I like to see is the fact that we might be seeing a nice higher, low being put in place here on QNT. I told you guys I wanted to really kind of see $105 being tested. We, missed this just by slightly a little bit. It was like $106. Totally fine. Honestly, as long as we kind of hold this level here, I'm actually going to be very, very happy. We do see that the RSI is trying to flip the moving average currently. Volume still kind of sitting a little bit stable, nothing too crazy there. I would like to see us back above the 236 and actually hold above that point, because we have not held above the 236 Fibonacci level for a very long time. So I would like to see that price action really kind of, move up a little bit more. For the QNT Bitcoin price chart, which I know that lately we've been seeing a lot of strength on a lot of the Bitcoin pairs for some of our altcoin holdings, but we're kind of still sitting slightly, around the same range that we have been for a while now, just kind of trading sideways until we do see that breakout event. I'm not going to get too bullish, like I said, until we see that next major move on the Bitcoin pair, or even on the USD pair. Like, we still need a lot of volume in on a lot of these, assets that we hold until we do see any sort of bullishness in terms of PA. But of course, you guys do see that the RSI has flipped the moving average. We still see that volume diminishing, and honestly, the RSI is not too strong here. I do want to see us back above like 60, because you guys clearly see that resistance level that we've been hitting at around the 60 RSI. We have actually been hitting that since we've made that all-time high, going back all the way into September. So as long as we don't, if we're ranging below that 60 mark on the RSI, we're not going to see a lot of price action yet on QNT. But of course, those levels are still marked on the chart. As long as we do hold above that fib level, though, I'm still very bullish on QNT. But as long as we hold this higher low, then hey, there's nothing to really kind of be concerned about in terms of lower price action. But my demand zone is still on the board for any sort of level. At that point, I'm buying all day long for QNT. Now, with all that in mind, let's really talk and address the major technological advances that QNT has been making, especially in terms of interoperability with CBDCs and stuff like that. So let's watch this video real quick.
And money and receive money because it's trusted and it's a CBDC. It's backed. It's not a speculative asset. So for us, it's a privilege to be able to work with this technology and lay that infrastructure where this technology will live on. It's quite transformational to lay the tracks for the future of money and the future of transactions. So what we've been doing is making sure that these currencies that the governments will issue and these central banks will supervise are interoperable. That's core to our technology. They work across borders in a frictionless way. You don't have to be limited to your country and your jurisdiction. You can spend that money anywhere globally. And what we're looking to do is make that a reality within regions and connect the regions to each other so we can actually be the bridge between different jurisdictions.
And that's why I've always said, Quant will basically be the bridge between all countries, all, currencies, if you will, because it still needs to be interoperable in the same way that, like, the SWIFT network is kind of interoperable, right? If you make a payment, you send money overseas or so, it kind of converts that currency to another one. That's basically what QNT is becoming. So when we were talking about this, I mean, this is huge, especially for, not only, QNT, but also DLTs, because DLTs are making this a possibility. DLTs are basically becoming, the CBDC standard, but of course, like I've said, without interoperability and stuff like that, these CBDCs will not be anything. These DLTs will not be anything. They all need to be able to connect with one another and, transact those messaging formats and that information. Now, we also see here, QNT at the webinar with Ripple Center RTGS Global SDX Global at the Digital, Pound Foundation. Listen closely to this as well. This is actually pretty big.
I think one of the use cases I can talk about is a form of interoperability that we've implemented in Latin America. So this is an interbank network for cross-border across the continent of Latin America, and then connecting Latin America to the US for a payment corridor there. So what we've done is, working with the 12 countries, is allowed every commercial bank to hold their own DLT and have the relationship with their own customers. So all the onboarding, KYC, fraud, risk, etc., the relationship is still held with the commercial banks. What we didn't want to do is force every commercial bank to transform and adopt a single type of DLT because they've already got one, or they don't want to, they've invested. And then what we've done is allow that agnostic approach to connect to each other on a settlement layer between the banks as an interbank network. And that's agnostic to the underlying interoperable digital asset on the commercial bank side. So this then settles at the top layer with the CBDC, so with the central bank RTGS system, which is a wholesale CBDC. So this system allows the use of different types of technology, making it interoperable, but it just makes it cross-border from day one. And we've seen this work, which is what we've been doing for the last year, and it's going into production in 2023 in Latin America for LACchain. This has been quite a successful test that's going into production, because it's actually given the ability to have a cross-border Latin American dollar for the countries who are already connected to the network, and they're just reusing their existing infrastructure, their existing DLTs, and they're holding the relationship with their customers. Because we've seen a lot of central banks tell us they don't want a citizen to call.
And real quick, I just want to pause it to reiterate what he just said. So they're still holding the original framework. They're just allowing for interoperability between whatever system they already have initially set up. QNT is just bridging that network to these other networks. So think about that logically. So you have Quant plug and playing with this original network that already has, hundreds, thousands, who knows how many banks and financial services already connected to that network. And now QNT is bridging that massive network of individuals to a digital framework, aka allowing them to have interconnectivity between other distributed ledger technologies, and it's going to be able to transact data over that DLN, right? So this is huge, because, this is basically telling you, hey, we're going to be plug and playing with hundreds, thousands, who knows how many players all at once. And these players are banks, financial institutions, enterprises, hedge funds. Who knows exactly the names behind this, but you got to realize the sheer amount of individuals that will be interconnected all at once instead of, individually. And just listen to the rest of this.
Call them to say, where's my £10 transfer? Because they're not geared up, they're not geared up to be running the relationship with commercial banks with their own customers. They want to run the wholesale, the settlement, the policy, etc., and RTGS.
And this is all through an RTGS system. This is global payments. You got to realize that this is a global system being, fully revolutionized by new age technology. And this is all because when you're looking at QNT, They are basically becoming the rails for CBDCs. And it all starts with just one. I mean, it really did all start with LAC chain, the Latin American dollar. And people are looking at this and saying, oh, well, it's just one. I mean, first off, this is a regional network of 12 plus countries already in Latin America. This is for the Latin American dollar through LAC chain. And the funny thing about this is that this is the beginning. This is sparking the revolution, okay? And again, this is tokenization at its finest. You got to realize where Q&T is positioning themselves. And this is where it all begins. And individuals are still sleeping on Q&T. They're still not realizing the value behind this. In yesterday's video, I just told you that Q&T is going to be utilized in every single Overledger transaction. Okay? So just realize the price tag per Q&T for an asset that has 33% less circulating supply than Bitcoin at $113 at a 1.3, almost a $1.4 billion market cap. Okay, with demand continuing to rise on a day-to-day basis, individuals are just now learning about interoperability. Individuals are just learning about CBDCs. I talk to people and, I say, CBDCs are coming. They don't know what CBDCs are. So basically, there's individuals out there that still don't understand how crypto itself actually works. So people are still kind of lost in the idea on what interoperability even is. What's happening right now behind the scenes with CBDCs. Those individuals, who's watching this video that is learning about Quant, that is doing the research on interoperability, CBDCs, tokenization, NFTs, the metaverse, all this kind of stuff. We are such a small percentage factor of the global population. This is why I've always said, we're the future 1%. Those individuals that are adopting crypto before it goes fully mainstream, because trust me, I know that we've been seeing a lot of adoption happening for crypto, but we are still very early in terms of the infancy stages on Q&T, on even crypto in general. Maybe not Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin has already seen its massive shift in terms of adoption, but I also don't care about holding Bitcoin because I know that at the end of the day, Q&T is like buying Bitcoin, at $113. Except the difference here is that we have something that is, truly revolutionizing, especially in what we can see coming in terms of tokenization and digitization of course, the financial system. And I don't try to hype Q&T at all because Q&T doesn't need hype. As long as you do your own research on the Overledger network and Quant in general, you could truly see the vision and the mission behind Quant to be basically allow for these DLTs to be adopted in. Everyone is always saying, HBAR is the future, XRP is the future, this is the future, that's the future. And trust me, don't get me wrong, I do believe that the future is DLT technology in general, but how are they going to fully function without that interoperability layer? And this is exactly why I don't care, to hold, certain assets. This is why I always invest into utility gems that are allowing for the new system to actually run efficiently and to actually allow it to basically be functional. So overall, at the end of the day, Q&T at around $113, even at $400, right, was not a bad price to buy it at. I still see individuals saying, I bought, Q&T at $400, I fully regret it. Or I bought, Q&T at $300, I fully regret it. The thing here is that are you going to regret buying Q&T at $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 when it's worth $10,000 plus per Q&T? Absolutely not. You're going to look back and say, those are the best buys, that I've ever done. All right. So overall, when we are talking about Q&T and Q&T's future, I do believe that we will eventually reach $10,000 plus per Q&T. Don't know when. I think that we will definitely reach it by, around 2025, especially with everything that has been happening within crypto and crypto regulations and even adoption of these major networks, because interoperability is a necessity for the future of DLTs and, this entire market. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.